The Rise and Fall of Arthur Fleck, a cautionary tale. Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today we're diving deep into the complicated world of Arthur Fleck, the man who would go on to become the infamous Joker. You might know Arthur from the 2019 film Joker, and today, we'll explore his journey, the highs, the lows, and all the chaos in between. This isn't just a story of a villain, it's a reminder of how society can shape a person's destiny. So, grab a seat, maybe a snack, and let's chat about the rise and fall of a man named Arthur Fleck. So, let's start at the beginning. Arthur Fleck wasn't born into chaos. He had a pretty rough childhood. Raised in a challenging environment and dealt with trauma, he struggled with mental health issues from an early age. Imagine feeling like the world was against you, and you weren't even sure why. He had dreams he wanted to be a stand-up comedian, to make people laugh, but life had other plans for him. Instead of laughter, he often found himself in despair, battling the shadows of his past. The transformation into the Joker. Fast forward a bit, and we see Arthur's slow transformation into the Joker. It didn't happen overnight. It was more like a slow burn fueled by a society that neglected him. When the world rejected him, he retreated into his mind, and it was there that his alter ego, the Joker, began to take shape. He became this chaotic figure, someone who laughed in the face of pain. This transition was his way of coping with all the hurt, and let me tell you, it's fascinating yet heartbreaking to watch. The cult of personality. As Arthur embraced his Joker persona, he unwittingly became a symbolic figure that many viewed as a beacon for the marginalized. People who felt overlooked and unheard saw in him a voice for their own frustrations. It was like they found a kindred spirit in his chaos. Before long, he had a following, a group of devoted supporters who believed he was their savior. Arthur was no longer just Arthur, he was a leader. And that power started to change everything. The expectations and pressure of leadership. But with great power comes great expectation, right? Arthur's followers began to demand more from him. They wanted him to be a hero, a beacon of hope, but Arthur was still just a man struggling with his own demons. Can you imagine the pressure? He tried to keep rising to the occasion, but the weight of it all was crushing him. The expectations piled up, and it felt like he was trapped in a role he never intended to play. The cracks began to show. Pretty soon, those cracks in Arthur's facade started to show. The more he tried to be the savior, the more he fell apart. His followers grew disillusioned. They began to realize that he wasn't the perfect messiah they had imagined. It's wild how admiration can turn into disappointment so quickly. All those feelings of hope turned into frustration when Arthur couldn't meet their needs. And just like that, things began to take a dark turn. And the loyalty of his fans started to waver. Betrayal and abandonment. This brings us to betrayal. Arthur was let down by those he had once trusted. Friends turned into foes, and he was left isolated, facing his demons alone. The very people who rallied behind him began to question his authority and his mental state. Imagine pouring your heart and soul into something, only to have others turn their backs when you needed them most. Talk about a gut punch, the tragic downfall. By the end of it all, Arthur Fleck became a victim of his own chaos. He was a man who created something bigger than himself, but that something consumed him. His story serves as a stark reminder of how power and influence can twist intentions. Arthur's tragic downfall paints a vivid picture of what happens when someone struggles with their inner demons in a society that has long since turned away. It's heartbreaking to think of the life he could have led if only the cards had been dealt differently. So as we wrap up, let's reflect on Arthur Fleck's story. It's more than just a tale of a villain. It's a cautionary tale about mental health, societal neglect, and the complicated web of power and influence. His legacy is a bittersweet reminder of how circumstances can shape a person's destiny and how critical it is to address mental health in our society. I'd love to hear your thoughts on this. Did you find Arthur's journey relatable in any way? What do you think his story teaches us about society today? Drop your comments below. And hey, if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe for more discussions like this. Thanks for hanging out with me today, and I hope you have a great day.